This video is sponsored by Hydropower. Hydropower is rider-owned and specifically formulated for motocross. Give Hydropower a try. Visit drinkhydropower.com and use code TMN or click the link in the description to get 10% off site-wide. Today's news was a little slow, so I figured we'd take a look at all injured riders, what their injury is, and when they're expected to come back. Alright, let's get right into it. Let's first start with the 250 class. Rockstar Energy Husqvarna rider Jalek Swoll was intended to race the 250 East Championship. Unfortunately, just a couple days before Houston Supercross, Swoll had a training crash resulting in a spiral fracture in his arm that ended up needing surgery. The surgery happened last week and all went good. His return date is unknown at the moment. Next up is Pro Circuit Kawasaki rider Jo Shimoda. Shimoda also crashed in training just a few days out from Houston Supercross. He ended up breaking his collarbone and according to his team will be missing a few 250 East rounds. This story kind of broke yesterday and that is regarding Monster Energy Star Racing Yamaha rider Nick Romano's knee injury. Romano suffered a torn ACL in a practice crash and is expected to miss the entire 2023 season. Former Bar X Suzuki rider and now Pro Circuit Kawasaki rider Carson Mumford is expected to make his return to racing in Oakland Supercross next weekend. Mumford suffered a broken wrist a couple months back in a training crash that required surgery. Mumford will be filling in for Austin Faulkner for the remainder of the season. Club MX Yamaha rider Garrett Marchbank suffered a broken radius and dislocated wrist in a practice crash a couple months back. After 2 successful surgeries, Marchbanks is expecting to come back to racing soon. Next up is yet another Club MX Yamaha rider, Preston Kilroy, who was actually their fill-in rider for Marchbanks. Unfortunately, at Houston Supercross, Kilroy went over a berm, landing on the cement, thus breaking both wrists. Our next rider is another Pro Circuit Kawasaki rider, Seth Hamaker. Hamaker broke his arm and wrist in a training crash. Hamaker has since undergone surgery and is expected to come back in the coming weeks. Privateer rider Kyle Greason is out for what looks to be the entire 2023 season. This is due to an L3 vertebrae burst he sustained in the preseason training crash. His return date is unknown at the moment. Next up is Moto Concepts Honda rider Vince Friese. Friese sustained an unknown preseason injury that is officially marked up as banged up. But from insider info we have attained, it's believed that he suffered an Achilles tear. His return date is unknown at the moment. Next we have yet another Pro Circuit Kawasaki rider, Austin Faulkner. As you all know by now, he suffered a plethora of knee injuries, tears, breaks, etc. Only update we have is that surgeries were successful, and he is now in the healing process. Our final rider in the very long list of injured 250 riders is Derek Drake. Drake sustained a humeral fracture at San Diego Supercross a couple weeks back. Surgery wasn't needed, he is now in the healing process. Alright, let's move on to the 450 class. First up is Rockstar Energy Husqvarna rider Malcolm Stewart. Stewart sustained a practice crash during the week, resulting in a knee injury. This injury did require surgery. At the moment, there aren't any more updates on his injury, but he will most likely miss most of 2023. Next, we have popular privateer rider Justin Rodbell. Rodbell had a practice crash way back in November, resulting in a torn Achilles. Unfortunately, this tear was pretty bad, required surgery obviously, but it's believed he will miss all of 2023. Alright, our next rider is Red Bull KTM's Marvin Musquin. Musquin crashed during the week after round 1, resulting in a wrist injury. Although he didn't need surgery and the extent of his injuries have been kinda hush-hush, we have seen him with a wrist brace on, so maybe a bad sprain? Anyway, after Tampa Supercross this weekend, KTM intends on giving further updates. Next is HEP Suzuki rider Brandon Hartranft. Hartranft's injuries, everyone has heard about at this point. He suffered back injuries, shoulder injuries, and required multiple surgeries. He's expected to sit out all of 2023. If you want to help him directly, go to roadtorecovery.com. Our final rider is Dylan Ferrandis. Obviously, most of you know of this by now. Ferrandis hit the ground pretty hard at this past race and suffered a concussion. Ferrandis is fine, but due to concussion protocol, he will be missing a few rounds. Alright, that's all the injured riders thus far into the 2023 Monster Energy Supercross season. Let us know your thoughts on the long list of injuries in the comments down below.